Llegué. Sele. Koyunca ki. Bingo. Beep.
Hey ya. Rami. Ambo.
Llegué. Hey, now. Koyunca ki. Sele.
Hey nga. Yeah.
Hey. Hey, hey. Harris. Bingo. Hi. Silly. Paid up. Key. Dead. Check it. Đây đấy. Có những trận kịch. Silly.
Magni. Ik heet.
Haste. Paid up. Key. Bingo. Hi.
Maggie. 企呢？
借嘅。地力。Key. Ace. Dead. Cool, tricky. Silly. Bingo. Hey. Harris. Hey, hey. Sige.
Ja. Rami.
Gale. Hej. Sige. Sele. Helst. Hey, hey! Kuinka ke?
Heia. Ambo.
Bingo. Dit. Key. Teira. Helst. Dit. Kuinka ke? Hej, sikke. Sele. Bingo. Hey, hey! Key. Sele. Teira. Helst. Dit. Kuinka ke? Hej.
Hej nè.
Heads. Silly. Gale. Hey. Bingo. Hey up. See it? Hey, hey! Gale. Seis. Bingo. Sele, kuyumcuki. Hai. Heis. Sele. Gale. Teira. Bingo.
Pagi. Ira.
Sige. Det. Kuyumcuki. Teira. Bingo. Teira. はい。ヘイス。ケイ。セレ。Säger. Kuntrykki. Det.
Magni.
Bingo. Teira. Kuntrykki. Heis. Hej. Säger.
Hänga. Maggie.
Keil. Sele.
Ja. Hey.
Säger. Hej, hej. Kuntrykki. Sele. Heis.
Hey, ja.
Bingo. Gale. Säger. Hej. Kujundruki. Helis. Leap. Gale. Teira. Bingo. Hej. Kujundruki.
Hinga. Rami.
Säger. Leap. Gale. Sele. Haste. Hi. Going to gate. Paid up. See it?
My name is Adam, and you are on Cyber Raccoon Channel.
Gate.
아니,
Bingo. Hi.
야, 오케이, 네.
Haste. Hey. See it? Paid up. Bingo. Hi. Key. Silly.
Maggie. Ik hey.
Cool, tricky. Key. Hey, hey. Harris. Teed up.
Wat nee. Ira. Hey ja. Rami.
Bingo. Silly. Zeg het? Hi. Key. Ais. Keili.
Hei nè. Bumbo.
Bingo. Sele. Keila. Sige. Ai. Keili. Keili. Kunjuki. Sele.
Today I'm going to tell you about the best games like Banished. Subscribe our channel, rate this video, and you will always be aware of what to play today. In Space-Based DF9, you'll build a home among the stars for a motley population of humans and aliens as they go about their daily lives. Mine asteroids, discover derelicts, and deal with the tribulations of galactic resettlement in Earth's distant future. Meteor impacts. Explosive decompression. Unbearable loneliness. Clockwork Empires is a steampunk and cosmic horror city building simulation game from Gaslamp Games. Your mission is to build a colony populated by AI characters with their own traits, memories, and goals. Take on the role of a junior bureaucrat, sent forth to seek fame, promotions, and natural resources to feed the ravenous maw of imperial industry and commerce. Build a prosperous colony, fill it with magnificent factories worked by oppressed laborers, and harness the awesome power of steam through fearsome machines invented by determined men and women of science. History is yours to seize for fame and fortune, for science, and for the queen and the glory of the Clockwork Empires. Life is Feudal, Forest Village is a feature-rich, town-building simulator strategy game with engaging survival aspects. Lead your people, a small group of refugees who were forced to start again on an unknown island. Terraform and shape the land and expand with houses, pastures, orchards, farms, windmills and many other buildings. Forage in the forest, hunt for prey, grow crops and domestic animals for food. As winter creeps up, ensure you stock up with enough firewood, charcoal and warm clothes to survive, and remember, a lack of vitamins in good rations may lead to disease and could even totally wipe out your village. Planet Base is a strategy game where you got a group of space settlers trying to establish an outpost on a remote planet. In the game you play the role of the base architect and manager, telling your colonists where to build the structures they will need to survive. You will have to ensure that they have a constant supply of oxygen, food and water.
Hey there, it's Patmos and nice of you to join me as we are going to load up a whole new village in Life is Feudal Forest Village. We're gonna name the town Patmosia, of course, because well, that's just what has to be done. We are going to play on a large map, so we'll have to change it up a bit. And one other feature, I'm just going to skip a bit and then we'll just start without houses. So this is going to be really tough. But hey, let's jump straight into it. Let's go. I'm really curious to see how well we can do with basically nothing. You start off with a very small hut, 2 people, some resources in the storage, no food whatsoever. So yeah, this is going to be interesting. So here we are. We can see what we have. So I'll just pause for a second. We have our little hut. That's basically it. We have no food in store. And we have a warehouse. So yeah, how should we proceed from here on? Well, we need to get some food going. So I guess we're going to need a gatherer. Or we need to start gathering food, but that's not possible. So yeah, I think we either need to get a fishery or a gathering hut. I think we should start off with a little gathering hut. And at the same time, we also need, now we're going to not place this too far away because they'll just have to walk there all the time. And at the same time, we need a place to store all that food that we will be producing, which will be the barn. Now I'm going to place that actually pretty close to the gathering hut, because I think we should use this space for some housing soon. So let's get to the people's overview. Let's assign them both builders. And let's get going. We need to start building that gathering hut. And after that the barn to actually be able to store some food. And from there on, it will all be about
water to stay alive. Project Aura is a simulation/strategy video game where you take control of a colony of climate disaster survivors. In the near future, humans will face the drastic consequences of climate change. Forced to take refuge in vital reserves using cryopreservation, they await a second chance. At the end of the 21st century, humans, finally aware of the great climate disaster, dedicated their efforts not on preventing the inevitable crisis, but to ensure the survival of the species itself. In Stonehearth, you pioneer a living world full of warmth, heroism, and mystery. Help a small group of settlers build a home for themselves in a forgotten land. You'll need to establish a food supply, build shelter, defend your people, monitor their moods, and find a way to grow and expand, facing challenges at every step. Northgard. After years of tireless explorations, brave Vikings have discovered a new land filled with mystery, danger and riches, Northgard. The boldest Northmen have set sail to explore and conquer these new shores, bring fame to their clan and write history through conquest, trading, or devotion to the gods. That is, if they can survive the dire wolves and undead warriors roaming the land, befriend or defeat the giants, and survive the harshest winters ever witnessed in the north. No Moria is a sandbox village management game where you help lead a small group of gnomes, who have set out on their own, to thrive into a bustling kingdom. Anything you see can be broken down and rebuilt elsewhere. Craft items, build structures, set traps and dig deep underground in search of precious resources to help your gnomes survive the harsh lands. Build your kingdom and stockpile wealth to attract wandering nomads to your cause, but be wary of also attracting enemies. Project Zomboid is an open-ended zombie-infested sandbox. It asks one simple question: how will you die? In the towns of Muldra and West Point, survivors must loot houses, build defenses and do their utmost to delay their inevitable death day by day. No help is coming, their continued survival relies on their own cunning, luck and ability to evade a relentless horde. Kingdoms and Castles is a game about growing a kingdom from a tiny hamlet to a sprawling city and imposing castle. Your kingdom must survive a living and dangerous world. Do the Viking raiders make off with your villagers? Or are they stopped, full of arrows, at the castle gates? Does a dragon torch your granary, your people dying of starvation in the winter, or are you able to turn the beast back? The success of your kingdom depends solely on your skill as a city and castle planner. Dwarf Fortress. The deepest, most intricate simulation of a world that's ever been created. The legendary Dwarf Fortress is now on Steam. Build a fortress and try to help your dwarves survive, or adventure as a single hero against a deeply generated world. Rim World. A sci-fi colony sim driven by an intelligent AI storyteller. Generates stories by simulating psychology, ecology, gunplay, melee combat, climate, biomes, diplomacy, interpersonal relationships, art, medicine, trade, and more. Factorio is a game in which you build and maintain factories. You will be mining resources, researching technologies, building infrastructure, automating production and fighting enemies. In the beginning you will find yourself chopping trees, mining ores and crafting mechanical arms and transport belts by hand, but in short time you can become an industrial powerhouse, with huge solar fields, oil refining and cracking, manufacture and deployment of construction and logistic robots, all for your resource needs. However, this heavy exploitation of the planet's resources does not sit nicely with the locals, so you will have to be prepared to defend yourself and your machine empire. Subscribe our channel, rate this video and you will always be aware of what to play today.
Banished has been cloned, used as inspiration and modded to high heaven, but it has practically never been dethroned as the best indie city building, resource management and survival game. It is almost hard to believe it was made by a solo developer back in 2014, who is actually in the process of making another similar game, but as he puts it, with a deeper simulation and more focus on individuals. And while we wait to see if Farthest Frontier, which came out on August 9th, 2022, will knock Banished off its throne, let's take a look at some of the best challengers so far, as well as some potential future ones. My name is Peter, and the first Banished-like game I want to mention is Endzone: A World Apart. Released in 2021, it is as near a match to Banished as you could find, but with a post-apocalyptic setting and a truckload of features you wish Banished had. The most important of these are the local and global expeditions you can send your settlers to. There is also combat against raiders, research and a technology tree, different side missions and objectives, settlers who have complex needs, and there are many different gameplay scenarios to play in. I have showcased many of these features in my videos on Endzone, link up here and down below. Much of this was added during its early access as well as 2 DLCs. It runs great even with really big settlements and thousands and even tens of thousands of settlers, has great tutorials which help its players learn its interconnected systems of production chains, population happiness and buildings. With 77% positive reviews on Steam out of thousands, you will not be disappointed. This next game has an even better rating after more than 10,000 reviews at 87% positive ones. It's called Dawn of Man and it came out in 2019 as a practically finished product, which is truly rare these days. It has had updates but no expansion.
Bingo. Play.
Or DLCs. Its setting actually shifts over time from the old Stone Age to the Iron Age as you play and research new tech. It also has combat against raiders from other tribes, trade, weather and season, planned infections, but also construction of colossal stone structures. The maps are big and there is plenty for your tribe to do, from hunting, gathering and up to farming with crafting of all the tools they need. The one thing you could fault the game for is its low tribe population. Being a sandbox like most of the games on this list, there is no real storyline, but there are milestones to hunt for besides the amazing animals you can only see in museums in our day and age. And speaking of our day and age, we might be getting closer to colonizing Mars, but in Planet Base you can already do this. This is a game from the very same developers of Dawn of Man, just an older game project from 2015. Landing on an unexplored planet, building your first domes and helping your colonists stay alive with enough access to air, water and food is the main challenge here. Energy, minerals, manufacturing feel like real luxuries as you attempt to create a self-sufficient base in a harsh environment, especially since you're never far from critical failure. There is tech research, trade and disasters like meteorites, sandstorms and solar flares. It also has a majority of positive reviews at 79% out of almost 10,000, but most of its player base is not happy with the lack of expansions or DLCs. It was updated and it works great, but just like Dawn of Man, it also doesn't have great scale. Nowhere near Surviving Mars, for example, which boasts a great 84% positive review rating. And oh boy does this game have a huge scale. The map to building size ratio is truly gigantic and colonies have been built with upwards of 20,000 population. It is probably the most attention grabbing of all Banished-like games, and I admit playing it until 4 AM on multiple occasions since 2018. The tech tree alone is one of the biggest you will ever see, and considering Surviving Mars was published by Paradox Interactive, you know you will never lack for new content delivered in piecemeal DLCs. There is no combat here, aside from shooting down asteroids with lasers and a few unexpected events which come from a dozen mysteries you can choose to solve. Music is outstanding, graphics too. Colonies have wants and professions, trade with Earth is always an option, as well as interactions with other colonies, several disasters exist, as well as terraforming, and there are multiple mega buildings with special functions to construct. The only thing missing is an endgame. I guess we have to wait for that DLC too. Now I want to present to you half a dozen games which match Banished so closely that a few straight out admit it. First is Zostrib from 2020, which has an amazing 92% positive rating after several thousand reviews. Still in early access and with updates stopped due to the current conflict in the developer's home country, it may not get finished anytime soon, but it's totally playable as is. The tutorial might be bare bones, but there are no advanced features, so you can pick it up after some trial and error. It has trades, seasons, animals, and one of its best features is its gridless building system. The art direction is definitely going towards the realistic, while there are many buildings, production chains and goods your settlers need and make on a daily basis as you micromanage it all. Settlement Survival, on the other hand, has a much more colorful art design with the always welcome feature of terraforming with easy-to-use tools. The rest of the gameplay is as you would expect, building a community home by home and one production chain at a time, while dealing with disasters and plagues and satisfying the population needs minus the combat. There is tech, crime, trade and town administrators, and all of this has earned it an 88 positive score among thousands of reviews. It was released in 2021 and has been getting continuously updated since. Its noted downsides are overcomplicated, almost anno-like production chains with way too many resources and processed goods, as well as performance slowdowns with thousands of settlers moving and working. Life is Feudal Forest Village is another game which tried to flash clone Banished back in 2017 with a setting a bit later in the medieval age, but despite adding terraforming, raiders and even a first-person view, it fell short of Banished quality. The bugs, lag and unnecessarily deep micromanagement resulted in a 64% positive review rating after about 5,000 reviews. Of the standard features, it has dynamic animals, many goods, advanced farming, seasons, diseases, tornadoes, earthquakes, lightning, settlers' happiness, morale and productivity stats. What saved this game was its modding community, which did its best to fix its flaws, add what it was missing and help its players get the most out of it. Our next game, Kingdoms Reborn, is the polar opposite with a 90% positive score after the same number of reviews received in just 2 years since the launch in 2020. It has just gotten its major Viking team faction free update, Rise of Valhalla, alongside more military gameplay and many global resources and improvements. That combat is the wild card here, with an actual card system which also influences town's policies. It is much more a global game than most of the others, with huge world maps and 7 different biomes, interactions with AI neighbors, but also other players in multiplayer. You still have individual simulated citizens, tech research and progression through different eras on top of that. I hope you will not be put off by the card system and give this game a spin, because it's highly addictive and has a good learning curve with challenging gameplay. To escape the medieval setting for a bit, follow me to the nuclear wastes of Atomic Society, which came out in 2018 and didn't get much praise because of its bland graphics, low amount of content and lack of meaningful progression. What it did have was a harsh reality of trying to scrape by in a post-apocalyptic world with survivors and migrants who will turn up at your doors asking for another slice of your dwindling supplies. These conditions lead to crime and force you to be the judge, jury and executioner. This character of yours is akin to the one in Tropico, and so are the decrees which help you govern these poor folks. While there is a variety in map biomes, problems you face and buildings to construct, these good and bad qualities landed the game at 67 positive reviews out of a few hundred it received. This next game has 3 times the reviews and a bit better positive average at 77%. It is also set in the old days, but Patron's developer aimed for a game with more emphasis on population and their social development and care. It's been updated regularly since its release in 2021, and its color palette is a bit more saturated than in Banished. It has enjoyable music, weather, trade and a lot of stuff to research, but unfortunately you cannot really enjoy watching the trade and fishing ships in a meaningful way. It lacks any campaign or story, events are light, but there is interaction with the king. The main fun in Pattern is the balancing of issues and potential problems like class strife, immigration, religion, health, safety, loyalty and others. This is besides the town building mechanics, resource collection and production chains. If you are a player who cannot stand not having any combat in a Banished-like game, then this next one will be more to your liking, but if you have been enjoying this video so far, please consider hitting that like button, leaving a comment about your favorite Banished-like game, and subscribe to see my future videos. With Viking raids and even dragons, kingdoms and castles pulls no punches in trying to bring down your walls and homes. Its colorful and simple nature, alongside many updates since 2017 and a more relaxed gameplay style, are most likely reasons why it has an amazing 92 positive rating after 20,000 reviews. When not fighting for your life or dealing with winter or plagues, you can make alliances, trade, make settlers happy, or tax the gold out of them to construct your massive castle. You can do so in the creative mode and also make your own new maps or download those others have made from the workshop. Another similar and newer game from 2019 with a seemingly layback style, really cute art design and lots of medieval castle building is Foundation. It too doesn't lack for updates or positive reviews, 87% out of 10,000. It, however, is more about staying away from blocks and grids and making everything look, feel and function more organically, from resource collection and management to free building and object manipulation. The gameplay mechanics like the kingdoms missions, labor and clergy estates, trade and villager promotions are interesting and fun to play with. A far more harsh, unforgiving and feature-packed game is Surviving the Aftermath. It is a post-apocalyptic builder from 2019 with an involved exploration and combat map gameplay layer. The graphics are advanced but also somewhat smudged, which I found a very odd art style choice, as I made my own how to start guide about it, linked up here and down in the description. It is sitting at a 72% positive rating after just about 2000 reviews, and it recently got the New Alliances expansion. Disasters in this one are particularly hard on your population, and there is always radiation, mutated wildlife, raiders and sickness to contend with. Your specialist, hero-like character are part of the world map gameplay, which helps set this game apart from the rest, while there are also quest-like missions for you to do there. The AI of the settlers can fail you, and it is one of the gameplay elements that needs extra work. Even with a few rough edges like that, it is still very close to being Banished 2.0. Another post-apocalyptic game from 2021 with a smaller scope hides behind almost cartoon-level graphics and cute characters in Timberborn, a game about helping beavers survive in their lumberpunk universe. It's among the highest rated ones at 95% after more than 10,000 reviews. While maps might not be super big, building vertically has become a passion for many fans of this game. The inclusion of water and the ability to manage it with land and constructed dams gives it the necessary spice to become endlessly fun and helps each new village become unique in its own way. The main enemy in this sandbox game is nature and droughts, while the two distinct beaver species have different views on how society should work and build. With no endgame in sight, it is a game about expressing your own creativity while traveling along the research and production trees. An even less graphically advanced game with its own art style is Make Your Kingdom, which came out in 2022 with a number of interesting features like first-person perspective, combat and orc raids. Here too you construct necessary buildings, collect resources from the environment and add production chains one on top of the other. The population does not go really high, but it is enough to experience the game properly. These new settlers come every so often by airship and you have to keep expanding your little town to meet their needs while dealing with disasters and harsh weather as well as the angry orcs. Two other things which give you a hard time are the settler AI and user interface. Hopefully these are just temporary and will be fixed as developers keep pushing out updates, but they have led to this game having a 63 positive score after more than 100 reviews. This next game is among my favorites from 2017, and despite not being updated anymore, it has a really solid gameplay with many modes, a voice campaign with a light story, combat and even a type of world map gameplay. It is called Avon Colony and it has a 75% positive rating after about 1,500 reviews. This would be higher save for two things: the game's decreasing performance as your settlement grows and the lack of deeper complexity. Yes, there is farming, crime, factories, power, air and water networks, large population with stats like health and happiness. You have to deal with extreme electrical storms, shard storms, dust devils, deadly toxic gas eruptions from geothermal vents, and attacks from aliens or raiders, but it still lacks enough content to keep you engaged for a long time. After you have finished the story, the challenging scenarios, and built a huge sandbox city with outposts across the map, you have experienced it all. Then again, that is a lot of hours of fun. Last game I want to mention is more of a warning than a recommendation. It is one of those perpetual early access projects that are being worked on forever and never finished. You probably already recognized I'm talking about ancient cities. The premise of leading your own tribe and building an ancient community is all fine and good, but a very expensive, one-person indie project that keeps on leading its customers by the nose is not cool. The gameplay itself is close to Dawn of Man I mentioned in the beginning of the video, and while it is playable in the state and updates are being posted, I would recommend extreme buyer caution if you don't want to feel buyer's remorse. Now, on to some brighter future projects. First of these is Farthest Frontier, which I mentioned in the intro. Its developers promised one of the most advanced farming and settler simulation systems, both a normal and a pacifist mode, lots of different types of buildings and production chains, along with the bubonic plague and truly beautiful graphics. Lysara Summit Kingdom has a much more vertical gameplay approach because of its mountain setting. This means avalanches are main disaster events here, both in campaign and in sandbox mode. You will actually be able to build multiple towns and set trade routes between them. It does not feature combat, but has construction of summit temples at mountain peaks alongside production chains and settler management. Another new setting is under the sea and ocean in the aptly named Aquatico. Verticality is also present in this upcoming city builder with different building layers specialized in industry, housing or public space. It will feature expeditions to the ocean floor, basic and advanced resources and manufacturing, drones, submarines, mechanized underwater robots, and other ocean-specific tech. A bit less serious and more cartoonish builder is Walland, where you will lead Vikings as they build their own new home. Beyond the resource management and construction, devs promise open-world longship travel gameplay as well as fights with barbarians. Another underwater team game is called Abyssals. Here too you build a colony below the waves, explore the strange and dark places and attempt to civilize the bottom. This isn't Earth though, but a hostile alien world. Even simple things like oxygen will not be easy to get, so new techs are required as well as a lot of experimentation and exploration. Then we have the Wandering Village, which I showcased in much more detail in one of my previous videos linked up here and in the description. Its premise is a wild one, as your city is built on the back of a giant creature which moves through the world of noxious gases and horrible parasites. It is a story of symbiosis at work on a grand scale, with expeditions, efficient production chains, and survival with very limited resources. Lastly, there is Roman Triumph Survival City Builder, which is a project I'm not quite sure about yet, as it looks, well, you can judge for yourself. Its idea is for you to start from nothing, build up and fortify a city, to fight off everything from barbarians to mythological creatures and gods. Tech research, citizen health and happiness are basic features, just as trade, religion, temple building and mischievous gods. For more info on upcoming games like Banished, check out my other videos posted here as cards on the screen or links in the description below. And of course, as soon as
How do you even define a city when it comes to city building games? I challenge you to figure out those city limits. City builders help define who I am. SimCity 2000 along with Caesar 3 are some of my most played games and made me fall in love with history. So imagine what these games could do for you. I spent ages building this, so let's find out, and welcome to the most anticipated city building games in 2024. Now, if you liked The Settlers but hate the new Settlers game, well, good news. Pioneers of Pagonia. This is actually from the developers of the original Settlers, but they've just gone ahead and made their own game called Pioneers of Pagonia. This is all about exploration, discovery, and reuniting the fantastical islands of Pagonia, and you'll be able to build over 40 different buildings and use 70 different types of goods, managing widely branched production chains, and you can get creative when it comes to your economy. Impressively, this game is promising the ability to have thousands of inhabitants, procedurally generated maps. You protect your population from hostile animals, plundering bandits, and mythical creatures, and you'll have to unite with scattered tribes. So basically, it sounds like the old school Settlers, but modern. And if you are concerned about how this is going, don't worry, it went into early access in December 2023, right at the end of the year, to very positive reviews. We're looking at mid 80% positive, and they've got a whole roadmap and development updates coming for the economy, mining, a co-op update where you can team up with your friends, and various quality of life stuff is also on the way. So it's in early access now. It's hit the ground running. Everyone seems to be pretty much on board with it. And if it just gets better through the year, then Pioneers of Pagonia should be turning into something quite special. They are aiming for at least 6 months in early access. They of course might take longer, but 2024 is the plan for a full release for Pioneers of Pagonia. Flying in beyond these stars. Build a city on the back of a space whale and learn to coexist as you journey through the stars. Manage intricate supply chains and the needs of your people as you build outposts, meet aliens, and uncover the mysteries of the universe. Now, building on the backs of giant animals is a bit of a trend for city builders right now, and some of them are pretty interesting. In this one, you have a home among the stars. You will be building a sprawling city, but you're on a universe-traveling space whale, as your people seek places to live and work. You'll be reaching far and wide as you terraform the land around you to better suit your needs, and you'll create a thriving ecosystem by digging canals and adding topsoil in preparation for farming, and planting trees to maintain a steady flow of raw materials. So this is a bit like City Builder, but also restoring the natural environment, which sort of has some Timberborn vibes, or maybe Terra Nil. And as you progress through the technologies and gaining access to more advanced goods, you'll need to set up logistical networks and mining infrastructure. But if you go too far, then maybe your space whale won't be too happy about it. So overall, this one is looking pretty promising, and it's pretty much a sequel to the previous city building game called Before We Leave. So I suppose Beyond These Stars is essentially after we leave. But yeah, it looks pretty interesting and seems to have a lot of promise, and if they're just improving from the last game, then this should be pretty good. Right now, it's just set for a 2024 release window, but nothing specific yet. For a swashbuckling builder, Republic of Pirates. Establish and grow a pirate utopia during the golden age of piracy. You create a resource-based economy, engage in real-time naval combat, and navigate diplomatic relations with rival powers, all the while exploring the far reaches of the Caribbean in search of the ultimate fortune and glory. So with a bit of Anno vibes, this one is a city builder plus ship naval combat thing with apparently a secret treasure, and you'll be utilizing over 100 unique buildings to provide resources and infrastructure required to grow your burgeoning republic. The battles themselves are where you command a fleet of ships, and you'll explore the archipelago and conquer new territories. And on the topic of diplomacy, you will be harboring rivalries or maybe even forging alliances. Now, through this game, there will be missions for you to complete. You'll be receiving orders to attack settlements or collect bounties, striking up trade deals, but you get to choose how you want to play this game. There's supposed to be flexible gameplay modes with free play or configurable settings or new maps, where you can pick and choose what kind of game you want to play. So maybe you just want the building aspect or you want more of the naval combat stuff, then this all sort of can be up to you. Maybe a competitor for the Anno series, but we'll see if they can actually bring it up to snuff, yeah? Because it's right now just set for a 2024 release window, and we'll see through the year if they can actually set sail. And then one that looked quite promising, News Cycle. This is a city building game with the focus on survival. An apocalyptic series of solar flares has pretty much destroyed the world, and human society has been thrown into disarray. It's up to you to establish a new settlement and develop it.
Haste. Select key. Aye. Bingo. Date. Sige. Bingo. Teira. Teire. Harris. Kunjaki. Hi. Bingo.
Hey ja. Oké, nee. Hey na.
Harris. Teira. Sige. Te.
Maggie. Ik hey.
Keel. Sele. Bingo. Teira.
Ja. Ja.
Sige. Hi. Harris. Te.
Hey ja. Ik hey.
Kunjaki.
Maggie. Amber.
Sige. Bingo. Teire. Keel. Sele. Harris.
Hey na.
Bingo. Hi. Coin tricky. Teira. Sige. Silly. Coin tricky. Hey.
Honey. Okay, nee.
Bingo. Hi. Hey.
Hey, nah. Ramie. Okay, Nick.
Bingo. Hey, Harris. Tira. Sigue. Sele.
And in this video I'm going to show you how to set up your streaming on YouTube using the Prism Live Studio.